So we're making lunch right now, and we're pulling 4,400 watts. And when my sister downstairs turns her induction cooker on, she was making something not too long ago, we were hitting almost 6,000 watts. And that's with the microwave going and with the toaster oven going. True test of this 8,000 watt reliable electric converter. I've been doing this now for 24 hours, running completely off grid, and we're going to see how long we can go. We've got 3,600 watts coming in right now, and we got 4,300 going out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Alright, so we are pulling 3,800 watts almost. We were just pulling over 4,000 not too long ago. Fans are running. Turns on and off. So far I've run 5,500 watts out of this continuous for about half an hour, and have had no problems so far. So again, still pulling the same. Come on, focus. I have a hard time focusing on screens sometimes. It's going up. Anyways, but lukewarm air coming out. When the fans turn off, this is the output side, I believe, if I remember correctly, and you can feel a little bit of heat coming out this one. The rest of them are as cool. Actually, this one is a tiny bit warm as well. These middle ones are cool. It's cool in this room, so in the middle of summer these will pretty much run non-stop. And I probably wouldn't pull more than 5,000 watts out of this, because this room gets to like 30 degrees in the summer, sometimes warmer, so I might have to look at cooling this room, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. But anyways, yeah, this is actually working almost as a heater right now. It's not throwing much heat. It's throwing maybe 100 watts or 200 watts of heat maybe. Not right now, but when I pull 5,000 watts, I'm sure it does. Things are working great. We got 61.4 volts in the batteries. We put 17.7 kilowatts in today. That's only because we weren't using enough power. I was floating. Could have put more. Everything's working great. And my system here, I thought for some reason I was going through this breaker, but I re-looked at the wiring. This breaker is only for charging through the magnesign. It was my bad. I'm actually running through a 60 amp breaker. That's why I'm able to pull so much power in the house. So that's the 60 amp from the reliable. That's the 60 amp from the magnesign. Only one can be on at the same time, because with this breaker on, both lives are bound together, which give me 120 volts on both sides, because it's a 120 volt inverter. And then when I flip that off and flip this one on, the two lives are not bound anymore, and I get my 240 volts. And yeah, everything's been working really good. Still gotta put the Nero somewhere better, but yeah, it's just working so well. I've been off grid all weekend. If you notice the lights are flickering, that's because of that other inverter again that I'm using to run these lights. Let's see. Temperature on this BMS is cold. Temperature on this BMS is cold. They're all cold. That's awesome. And it looks like we're eking up in power. Something else turned on. Almost at 4,000 watts now. We are running a dryer inside, electric heater, and everything else in the house. We have 2 refrigerators, chest freezer. My laptop's running. We have lights on, all that good stuff. And we're gonna go check out the dryer and see how the dryer's doing running off of solar. And here we have the off-grid dryer running off of 110 volts. It doesn't put out as much heat as it normally would, but it's still putting out heat. Like this is warm. We already did a laundry or load in the washing machine. yeah, everything's just working flawlessly. I'm very happy with the system, and yeah, give you guys some updates. But I'll see if I can catch when we're pulling over 5,000 watts, get that on camera, because it's pretty crazy to see 5,000 watts coming out of my battery bank. It just shows how well everything's hooked up and everything works together, that I can pull so much power without anything getting warm. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Well, we are running off grid. House is pulling 950 watts, and that's with the furnace running, lights running, everything runs like normal. And it is nasty outside. It's drizzling. Actually, it looks like it may have let up just a touch, but I'm home today because I work outside and it's raining. And I gotta go reset my Nero home monitor. It's glitched on me, so I just gotta hit the power button, and yeah, everything else is working pretty good. Yeah, it still is raining a little bit, but we're gonna go outside. It's super windy. Well, not super windy, but I'm making about 200 watts off the wind turbine, and we're gonna go outside and take a look. Don't want to be out here too long because it is drizzling. Wind turbine is spinning and making power. Let's go in here. This is how I turn my lights on right now. I just have this connected to an extension cord. As you can see, it goes up for this light. It just hangs in here. There's actually the only power source in this entire garage is this receptacle. It's an old house, and that's the only power. So this is hooked up to that inverter as well through an extension cord. Just plugs in. Gonna be hooking that up to the main system here soon. And what do we have going here? 100 and something watts. Half a kilowatt so far today. It's about noon. It's not the windiest day, but like our wind is almost as much-ish as, no, half as much as solar. So I am going to be repurposing this charge controller for solar panels. I'm going to be getting another 5,000 watts-ish. I'll be putting a couple more 100 watts in this one. I'll probably be putting 5,000 watts in this one, 4,500 watts in this one. I'm not sure what the 250 can handle. I gotta look it up. I know this one can handle about 5,000 watts. This one might only be 4,000 watts or less, I don't know. But I have an Antrax C40 coming in the mail for my wind turbine. So I will no longer have an MPPT function. I don't believe it's MPPT, but it's just a wind controller, which is going to be taking over this one. And we're going to see how that one works. I don't have the monitor or anything, so I'm putting one of those inline little cheapy meters. Everything's working great. Reliable. Is working great. I have pulled over 6,000 watts for about 15-20 minutes out of this thing so far. That's awesome. Very impressed with it. I wouldn't expect the full 8,000 watts. They actually, I asked them when I bought the thing, I said, can I run 8,000 watts? And they said, that's like a peak. It's 7,000 watts. They say continuous. I wouldn't do 7,000 watt continuous. But I did run a little over 6,000 watts continuous for 15 minutes. And it handled it no problem. BMS boards are all working great. Everything's working great in here. I just gotta find the time to wire some more of these up. I was looking at some better fuses because these ones suck. Not meant for 48 volts. But the reason we're in here is we're resetting this thing here. This Nero home monitor. I just unplug it like that, and I plug it back in, and she's reset. She'll work. I can see everything inside again. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, so speaker's on my lap. This is the back of it, and the speaker has a 9 amp hour 12 volt sealed lead acid battery in it. And you can tell it's a 9 amp hour because this thing is freaking heavy. For its size, this is much heavier than most of these little sealed lead acid batteries, so I will repurpose this somewhere else. And I'm going to put lithium in here. So if it had 100 amp hour life before, it should have 500 hour life after this. So I got this big mess here. This is the inside of that speaker. Got a 30 watt 8-inch driver. I don't know how many watt this one is. Apparently it's 100 watts between the two. I don't know about that. But anyway, it still sounds good. This is what held the old battery. Went in there. That'll be cutting out. I gotta cut that right out. I'm thinking about putting the inverter on the bottom, and then I gotta be able to place these batteries somewhere within the unit. This is the pull and push charging, and what runs the speaker. So, and then these are the plugs which I'm going to be clipping and rewiring into the inverter. And yeah, might have to put a buck converter between here, but we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. So I've decided to use all these LiPo cells that were in my lithium LiPo box because they're all set up, they're all hooked up together, and they're hooked up to a BMS board with a temperature setting, and they're already hooked up to an inverter. And not only that, they're actually easier to store in this box because they're in smaller formats, smaller pieces, where you get 3 large ones or multiple small ones. So I've gone this route. I got about the same storage, if not more, here. It's either gonna be 50 or 60 amp hours. So I can't remember exactly what they were, but yeah, that's what we're using. And instead of using the reliable electric, because it's all wired, we're gonna see if we can fit this Go power. It's actually a little bit smaller, so we'll see if that works. Alright, so after hours of work figuring out how to get everything to fit, the inverter is taken apart in the bottom here. The batteries are over here. I encased it with spray foam and hot glue to hold them, just because I needed to space them off all these edges to keep the lithium from getting wrecked. So I got about 50 amp hours of battery in the case, 500 watt inverter, and the stereo and everything will still work. I hope it still sounds as good. It may have less bass because I may have compromised some of the seals, but that's not a huge deal. Now when you turn the switch on for this speaker, it also turns the inverter on, and these two outlets become live. So if I flip that on like that, you can see the inverter turns on, and now these two are live. And if I want, and there you go, the speaker's on, connected, and everything's working just fine. Then I turn it off. I have it so everything turns on at the same time just because it looks much cleaner to have one switch. I didn't want to have to cut another switch. I already have this hot glued in 120 meter to just show that the outlets are working. To charge the unit, you can either charge it through the original port, or you can fast charge it through this, which goes to this charger. Through the port, I believe it will take about 24 hours to charge, and through here you can charge it in about 3 or 4 hours. I got tools on here just holding wires down while the foam hardens. I still have to cut this down to clear some stuff over here, but other than that, it's coming along and it's gonna be pretty sweet when it's done. Anyways, thanks for watching. And here I have the monster speaker finished. It's got 50 amp hours of lithium polymer batteries. We are sitting at 12.3 volts. Got 73 watts going in. Just have this Anderson plug hot glued to the outside, or I can plug through the original charger. Let's see, we are sitting at 3/4 charge, and so on the front it's a bit dusty, so when I turn it on, everything turns on this speaker. It's gonna turn on. I gotta turn it down just in case. It's got lights and all kinds of stuff. But on the side here, you can see I have 120 volts out. So these both are now live. 500 watts I can pull. I'm not done making the vent. This is coming off, and that's where I'm drilling a hole for the vent. For this, there is a hole here that goes in, so if the speaker is going in and out, it is bringing fresh air in, which is nice. So with this thing pounding at a high volume, it will be getting a decent amount of cooling. So I'm not scared of that. The only thing I'd be running off of this is about a 100-watt load for a DeWalt charger. So we're gonna try it, see how it works. Yeah, it's got USB outs. So I got 50 it's basically, it's almost the equivalent of a power it in the speaker box. So it's more universal. You see that I have some spots I gotta clip back in. It's raised here to nothing. Same with this side. I just reassembled it, so it's not perfect yet. It's definitely heavier than it used to be. I'd say it's about 5 pounds heavier. But I am very happy from the way it turned out. The only extra screen I have is this one, and you turn it off and everything goes off. That's my quick little mod for this speaker, and I do highly recommend this speaker. It's about 200 bucks Canadian. It's about 140 American. Really, really good speaker. Anyways, thanks for watching.